Today I'm making a video showing how to replace the right front axle on a 2013 Audi A4. So first thing you want to do with the car on the ground and someone inside the car on the brake pedal is you want to break this axle bolt loose. Just pull the center cap off, and you're going to use an Allen like this. This is a 19mm Allen with a breaker bar. And with someone in the car with their foot on the brake, if the car is running, it's a lot better because then you can get the booster assisting you. Just crack this loose. Sometimes they're very, very tight. The torque on this bolt is kind of insane. It's a stretch bolt. So yeah, you're gonna probably need to use a good sized breaker bar or put a pipe on the end of the breaker bar or something like that to get it to come loose. But I'll show you what to do after that's out of there. So I like to just kind of crack that bolt loose when it's on the ground, like I just said. But lift it up and get the weight off the car before you pull the bolt completely out. Just crack it loose, and then you can pull it the rest of the way out with the car unloaded. It's just not great on the wheel bearings to have the axle bolt out because it can kind of separate the two races of the bearing. So next thing you want to do is just pull the wheel off. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm working up here in Michigan, so there's a lot of road salt and corrosion on everything. To me, my favorite way to do this, when this upper bolt comes loose nicely, just to pull that bolt out, and then you can knock these ball joints up, and you can get enough room where when you hit the inner bolts on the axle, you can sneak it right out. You only need a little bit more room. The steering wheel is cut all the way to the left, so you're pulling the axle out this way, out at the hub first. You can almost do it, but you just need a little bit more room. So another way to go about it, rather than pulling the lower control arms or pulling the heat shield, that can be kind of a fight. There's the shield around. This is another way to do it, and I do it like this sometimes. There's a shield around the top of the axle. If that is removed, you can grab the axle right out from the inside and then pull it out that way. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna pull this inner bolt right here for the upper rearmost control arm. The bolt faces inward, so it's very easy to remove. You can just pull the 16mm wrench on each side, and then you can pull the bolt out this way, and that'll give you just enough where you can pull this back and you can get the axle to snake out. So I'm gonna pull that bolt out right now, and then show you what to do next. Right now, what I like to do is you get to the inner bolts from way out here with a long extension and a E10 triple square bit like this. I have this crazy extension that goes to a 1/2-inch drive that I can just go from way out here right through there, line it up, get right on the bolt, straight shot at it, and I can get these loose like this, and then just spin it at the rotor out here to to get the next one and the next one and the next one, and just keep rotating this and get all the bolts out. So that's what I'm going to do. Be careful with these. If you don't feel like your bit is completely seated into the triple square, you will strip it out. So you have to make sure. It's not even a bad idea to tap the back of the extension to make sure it's fully seated before you use an impact or loosen it by hand or whatever you have to do. If you want to do this with a ratchet, which is probably a better idea if you're not 100% confident that you have it fully seated, just so you can get a feel for things instead of just pulling the trigger and destroying it, you can while you're turning the rotor to hold it in place with the snub of the axle still in the hub, you can stick a screwdriver in the back like this, just through here to hold the axle while you're loosening it by hand. But that won't be necessary with the impact. So I'm gonna hit all those bolts now, and then the inner axle flange will be loose. Now with all the inner bolts off, that upper control arm loose that way. And like I said, there's other ways to do this. You can pull the upper shield. I do that sometimes, but this is just the way I'm going right now with it. Even pulling these lower control arms would give you the same thing, except for this front bolt here is a little bit tricky to get off. You have to pull the tie rod end off at the end to pull this bolt off. And this one also, you have to get this shield off to get this bolt off for the thrust arm. So I figured this may be the easiest option for me right now. Just pulling that one bolt up there and then having the control arm be loose, and then pull it off this way. So you can snake it off like this. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. Pulling the caliper off does make it a little bit easier, but doing it with one hand, so it makes it extra crazy. But yeah, there it is. So not that difficult of a job. It's like I said, if you're kind of fighting it and it's not fitting out very well, you pulling the caliper off, or even just the slide pin bolts to just pull the caliper itself, not the pad carrier bracket. That'll clear up a little bit of room for you. But yeah, so that's all I did up there. Kind of used that control arm and stuck it in that little cavity there to keep it away, to get a little bit more distance. But yeah, that's it. So hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching.